Hello! Today I am going to be showing you how you can update your Shopify products by SKU using the Matrixify app. So we're going to jump straight into creating our file for import. Here I am in Excel, and this is where we're going to be creating our file. Now to do so, we need to start with our column headers. As mentioned, this tutorial is going to show you how you can update your products by using the SKU as the product and variant identifier. So to start with, we're going to name our first column, and that is going to be variant SKU and in square brackets ID. So the full column header in this case would be variant SKU and square brackets ID. Now what this column will do is it will force the app, no matter what other columns you have in your import file, to identify the product and variant by SKU. And now you can really add any other column to the file to then update it by the SKU. So for example, one of the most common cases that we see in Matrixify is updating inventory by SKU. So if you would like to update inventory, for example, you would then add the header variant inventory quantity. And here you would then add the quantity for each SKU. You can also add multiple other columns to the file, for example, if you would like to update price, in which case you would add the column variant price. You can then also update images only by using the variant SKU to identify the product you would like to update. So in that case, you'd add the column image source. You can even update handle or title by variant SKU, in which case you'd add the handle column and or title column. You can remove columns, add columns, it's really completely up to you. Another cool thing that you can do only by using SKU is you can also delete products or even variants, in which case to delete a product, you'd add the command column with the value delete. And in the variant SKU column, you'd then add the SKU for the product that you'd like to delete. So for example, SKU 1234. The app would then find the variant with this SKU in your store and delete the whole product. You can also delete only variants from a product, in which case the column header would be variant command with the value delete. There really are so many different options and combinations that you can have when identifying a product and variant by SKU. In this case, I'm just going to show you how you can update variant inventory quantity. So that would then be the inventory for the SKUs. However, just so you know, there are so many different options and so many different things that you can do by identifying your product and variants by SKU. To update inventory, again, we go back to variant inventory quantity. And here we'd add the inventory quantity that we'd want the variants to have. As you can see, I've now added my SKUs to my import file, and I've also added the inventory that I'd like each of these SKUs to have. So the general idea would just be to add the SKUs that you would like to update in the variant SKU ID column, and then add whatever other columns you would like to update to the file. So that can be, as mentioned, anything. It can be tags, it can be body HTML, which would be the product description. It can also be variant columns, image columns. It can be anything you would like it to be. But as mentioned, in my case, I will be updating variant inventory quantity, which would be the inventory of my variant SKUs. Generally, your file should look something like this. I'm now going to go ahead and save my file and then head to the Matrixify app. Here I am in the Matrixify app homepage, and this is where we're going to be uploading the file that we've just created. To do so, press Add File and select the file that we just created and saved. Then either drag and drop the file into the app, or you can also just press open. You'll see the file analyzing, and once analyzed, you should then be able to correctly see that the file has been identified as products, which in my case, it also has been identified as products. Now, one thing to notice here is that the total showing is 4. You'll also see a comment about the uploaded file, which says that you are identifying products by variant, so eventual item count may be different. What this means is that my file currently contains 4 SKUs. However, because one product can have multiple SKUs, the eventual item count that will show may be different than 4. It may differ, it may be less than 4. So just keep that in mind, because even though there are 4 SKUs in my file, 2 of those SKUs actually belong to the same product. So the eventual total that you will see after this import completes is only 3. So I'll now press import and I'll show you exactly how that happens. So go ahead and press import and you'll see the file importing. And here you'll be able to see that once the import has finished, the actual item count. So even though my file had 4 rows, 4 SKUs, there are only 3 products. That is because 2 of the SKUs in my file belong to the same product. So we can now go ahead and take a look in our store. We'll be able to see that the products have been updated. So in my case, I updated these first 3 products, which would be honey pot, bee butter, and bee jam. And as you can see here, honey pot has 2 variants, and these are the 2 variants that we updated by SKU. So here you'll see the SKU here, SKU 1, 2, 3, 4, and SKU 4, 5, 6, 7. And you'll see that the inventory has also been updated for them. So SKU 1, 2, 3, 4 had the inventory 1, and 4, 5, 6, 7 had the inventory of 29. And that would then be it. That is how you can update Shopify products by SKU using the Matrixify app. Now, we also offer a written tutorial on this exact topic as well, which you can follow if you find it easier to follow written tutorials. I've also left a link to this tutorial in the description of this video so you can get to it easily. This tutorial not only shows you different examples of updating product data by SKU, but it also shows you how the app works and gives it a little more in-depth information on that. So if interested, you can also read through that as well. This goes over what I previously went over in this video. To mention as well, you can also update meta fields by SKU as well, which you can also see here in our written tutorial. And this basically just goes over a lot of different examples of different scenarios of how you can use variant SKU to update your products. And if you have any questions at all, you can also reach out to us either via Slack or via email. We have a great Slack workspace with an AI assistant, and we will also jump in if need be. And you can also write to us via email, which would be support@matrixify.app. But other than that, that would be it from me today, and that would be how you can update your product by SKU using the Matrixify app.